Analyst wants a big question answered about Shedeur Sanders. The Cleveland Browns don't need Shedeur Sanders right now. They need someone who is ready to play and lead the team forward, and he's not that at this point in his career. However, that doesn't mean he's never going to be an NFL-caliber quarterback. That's why analyst Tony Rizzo wants to know if the Browns are doing anything at all to develop Sanders and help the rookie progress while he's on the sidelines. Rizzo, who's been overly supportive of Sanders even before the team selected him at number 144 overall in the 2025 NFL Draft, then claimed that Deion Sanders should make the Browns trade his son to somewhere he can play. He also mocked the Browns' apparent plan of having Dillon Gabriel as the backup and then adding their future starting quarterback in the first round next year. Shedeur Sanders has to earn the right to play. Not many first-year, fifth-round picks would try to force their way out with a trade, so why would things be any different for him just because he's Deion Sanders' son? Shedeur Sanders slipped in the draft, not because of a conspiracy, but because he wasn't an early-round prospect. He wasn't seen as athletically gifted enough to overcome his shortcomings, and he came with a lot of extra baggage and scrutiny that some NFL teams just did not want to deal with. Now, it's up to him and the Browns to find a productive path. The NFL is a league of questions. Every Sunday, millions of fans tune in not just to watch touchdowns, sacks, and spectacular catches, but to find answers. Answers about whether a quarterback can handle the pressure, whether a rookie can live up to the hype, or whether a coach's gamble will pay off. In the case of Shedeur Sanders, the rookie quarterback who has become both a cultural phenomenon and a lightning rod for discussion, the questions feel louder than ever. Recently, one analyst crystallized what so many others have been circling around. What do we really know about Shedeur Sanders? And can he become more than the story, more than the jersey sales, more than Deion's son? It's a big question, and it cuts to the core of football legacy and the fine line between hype and substance. The rise of Shedeur. To understand why the question matters, you have to understand the journey. Shedeur Sanders wasn't just another five-star high school recruit. He was the son of Deion "Prime-Time" Sanders, one of the most electrifying athletes in sports history. From his earliest snaps at Trinity Christian in Texas, to his historic transfer to Jackson State and later Colorado, Shedeur played under a spotlight brighter than most professionals ever face. But unlike many coaches' sons, who crumble under pressure, Shedeur thrived. At Jackson State, he didn't just show flashes. He became the face of HBCU football's revival, bringing record TV audiences and national coverage. At Colorado, he was the central figure of college football's most-watched story in 2023, racking up statistics and highlights in a program that had been lifeless for years. By the time the Cleveland Browns drafted him, Shedeur wasn't just a prospect. He was a movement. His jersey became one of the NFL's best sellers before he had even thrown a pass. Every press conference went viral. Every photo of him with Deion or his brother Shiloh turned into a cultural headline. But here's the catch. Popularity isn't performance. And that's where the analyst's question hits hardest. The analyst's challenge. During a primetime NFL segment, the analyst leaned forward, eyes narrowing as the conversation shifted to Shedeur. "Listen, I like the kid. He's smart, he's polished, he's marketable. But here's the question nobody's really answering. Is he a franchise quarterback or just a story? That's what the Browns need to know. That's what the NFL needs to know. We've seen the hype, we've seen the stats in college, but the league isn't about highlights. It's about wins, leadership, and consistency. Can Shedeur actually deliver when it matters most?" It was a question framed not out of malice, but necessity. In the NFL, careers and franchises hinge on it. The weight of legacy. Part of why the question feels so heavy is because of Deion Sanders. Prime isn't just Shedeur's dad. He's a Hall of Famer, a cultural icon, and now one of the most polarizing coaches in football. For every highlight Shedeur produces, the camera cuts to Deion in the stands or on social media. Their names are linked in a way that makes it almost impossible to separate one man's career from the other's influence. The analyst pointed this out bluntly. Fair or not, people are going to wonder, how much of Shedeur is Shedeur, and how much is Deion? Can he stand on his own, or will he always be seen as the product of Prime's spotlight? It's not just a football question, it's a human one. Sons of legends walk a path littered with comparisons. Think of Michael Jordan's children, or Ken Griffey Jr. in baseball. Some carve their own greatness. Others never escape the shadows. The Browns gamble. The Cleveland Browns weren't blind to the risks when they drafted Shedeur. This is a franchise haunted by its quarterback carousel, a team that has seen promising careers derailed by injury, pressure, or poor organizational choices. Drafting Shedeur wasn't just about talent, it was about betting on a cultural figure who could re-energize the fan base. And it worked, at least in the short term. Browns fans lined up for his jersey. National broadcasts suddenly spent extra minutes covering Cleveland. Social media buzzed. But as the Analyst noted, buzz doesn't throw touchdowns. Jerseys don't read defenses. Has Cleveland gotten caught up in the hype, or do they actually have a long-term leader under center? That's the big question in its purest form. Is this real? Early signs on the field. So far, Shedeur's NFL moments have been flashes of brilliance mixed with reminders that this is, after all, the most difficult position in sports. Against veteran defenses, he's shown poise in the pocket, the same calm presence that made him stand out in college. He's quick on his reads, accurate on short throws, and unafraid of pressure. But there are growing pains. His deep ball timing has been inconsistent. He sometimes holds onto the ball too long, trusting his ability to improvise instead of sticking to the system. And the speed of the NFL, faster, meaner, more unforgiving, has already produced a few brutal sacks. The Analyst summarized it this way. Look, he's not drowning out there. That's important. But surviving isn't thriving. The Browns need to know, can this kid elevate? Can he take over a game the way Mahomes or Burrow or Allen can? Because if not, you're just running in circles again. The cultural pull. Outside of the X's and O's, Shedeur has something few quarterbacks possess: cultural weight. His presence connects to more than football. It connects to music, fashion, and the next generation of fans. His social media following rivals seasoned veterans. His confidence, often mistaken for cockiness, is magnetic to younger audiences. The Analyst admitted. That's what makes this complicated. The NFL isn't just football anymore. It's entertainment, it's branding, it's bigger than Sunday. Shedeur's a brand unto himself. But the brand can only go as far as the wins do. At some point, the highlight reels have to turn into playoff runs. It's a fair point. The NFL has seen marketable quarterbacks before, guys who sold jerseys, did commercials, even got movie roles, but the ones who last are the ones who deliver on the field.